What's up, everybody? This is CJBK Targeted Individual. Um, yeah, you know, last 2 days I spent, staying over at my mother's, and that's a strong woman, y'all. Like when I tell you that's a strong woman, like that's a real strong woman, and she is a God fearing woman. Tell you the truth, she ain't scared of nobody. Tell you the truth. She says whatever's on her mind, and like if you don't like it, she don't care. If she was younger and had her younger body back, she'll scrap with you too. You know. But so yeah, synthetic crime, right? Synthetic crime. So I'm constantly getting, the EMF radiation like every single day, no matter what. What else? Then I get the frequency attacks, the extremely high or extremely low frequency attacks. They've been aiming for my left hip a lot. My left hip and the lower left side of it's not bone, but it's more like it's a tissue, probably more like muscle. And they've been basically trying to it's almost like if someone took a needle pin and just stuck it right at a particular nerve in my lower back, and that just sends the pain signals. It goes to the brain, but then the pain kind of radiates from the lower back. Then it goes to just right above where my just right above my left gluteus maximus probably. Synthetic crime. I have to keep repeating certain things to myself when I make these videos, because the magnetic pressure that they've been applying to my head has been causing me more cognitive it's my cognitive functions have been hindered quite a bit. So synthetic crime. Now, synthetic crime, right? If you have not done research on deep fake technology yet, I advise you to do so. If you're a targeted individual, or you're somebody who probably has, been sent to, jail or prison for a crime you didn't commit, but somehow they have all this evidence on you need to research what deep fake technology is. Deep fake technology can be anything. Oh, I miss my beard. I went to go and grab my beard, but I missed my beard. I had to cut it off. Anyway, deep fake technology is basically when you take images of a face, right? And it could be several images, and you run it through like a computer algorithm of a sort. You run it through a computer software, and it can basically create a video, or it'll be something kind of like Photoshop, or even forget photos. It would take those pictures, right, and then the computer can generate let's say your face. Let's say if you were all over the place, and then people were just taking pictures of you, which happens to TIs. People, some gang stalking involved, people taking pictures of you. They will render those pictures, all of those pictures, at the fusion centers, and then create videos. They'll create a video that'll look just like you, even though you were actually at the location of where the video is showing that something happened. And not even just that. That's not even the scary part. I mean, it's pretty scary, but it's nothing more scarier than this part. Deepfake technology also includes audio. Audio where a computer can basically, you see they're actually messing with the pressure of my toilet. My toilet doesn't make that sound unless someone is messing with the pressure of it. So yeah. Anyway, deepfake audio is basically like a computer. It records your voice, your fluctuations, your vocal tones, your pitch, everything. It records everything about your voice, and then it saves it, and then whatever the person who's running the application, whatever they type, they can literally make the computer say those exact things that the person had typed in your voice. Now, I'm not sure how far it can go as far as, if someone were to be speaking in real time, they can make that voice basically say, they can make that voice basically say the same, they can make their voice sound like your voice, saying whatever they are saying. Now, I kid you not. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I have a feeling, my perps have been telling me there's a setup coming for you. So I'm like, all right, so if there's a setup coming, I need to let people know about deepfake technology. All you gotta do is research. Hell, if you don't feel like doing full research, just go on YouTube and type in deepfake technology. It's already being messed with, just for fun. Now, just imagine, you gotta imagine that in a real world scenario where if this deepfake technology was used, matter of fact, William Shatner had a segment on his show where this sounds crazy, but so here's the story. A VP of a company, right, said he received a phone call from his boss, the CEO. And the CEO was like, hey, I need you to transfer such and such, $1 million into this offshore account. So the VP, believing it's the CEO's voice, he says, okay. And he transfers the money. See, the actual CEO calls him back a day later or so. And he's like, what's with this millions of dollars going to this offshore account that I don't really, what is this? And he was like, and the VP was like, didn't you call me and ask me to transfer that money? And he was like, no, what are you talking about? And then it's like, that's how the deepfake technology can work. There's also been some testimonies of other targeted individuals where a mother, she said that she was, I think she was home, and her daughter, she had got a phone call that she thought was her daughter. And in the phone call, the daughter said, Mom, I need help. Come and meet me at this park, right? So the mother was all frantic. She rushed out to this park to go and see if she can find her daughter. She's looking around. She can't find her daughter. So then she calls her daughter's cell phone, and then the daughter picks up, and she's like, babe, I can't. She's like, honey, I can't find you. Where are you? She's like, I'm at my friend's house. What's wrong? She's like, didn't you just call me and tell me that, that's something that you needed help? I'm at this park. She's like, Mom, I didn't call you. I'm not at a park. I'm at my friend's house. deepfake technology. Now, not even just that. I mean, like I said, they can create videos using multiple pictures of you. It's like they use several pictures of you and they put it into this computer and then it runs through an algorithm and it could basically generate video footage of you using multiple pictures. Now, here's another thing. This is going to sound extremely sci-fi, but trust and believe when I tell you, if you need me to provide you with the patent and the actual scientific study, the peer-reviewed study on what I'm about to tell you, I kid you not, I will provide it for you. All you gotta do is write at the bottom of my comment section. The central nervous system can actually be hacked. Yes, the central nervous system can actually be hacked. Why? Because everything is running on electrical impulses and frequencies, basically. The heart has its own frequency. Every cell in the body has a frequency. Every thought you produce has a frequency. Every emotion that you feel has a frequency. Everything that is a part of your body has its own frequency. A frequency is anything that could be run in the hertz, megahertz, gigahertz. It's different like wavelengths. I'm not a spectrum analyzer. I'm not a super tech person. I don't know anything about all this stuff in 12 minutes. I'm not no professional at this. I'm learning this stuff as I go through my experiences. And like I told y'all before, I was never doing anything to anybody. I was sitting in my house, minding my own business, and people decided they wanted to use technology on me to scare me. I went to a hospital. I thought, this is during quarantine. I went to a hospital. I thought something was wrong with me. The doctors was looking at me like I was crazy. I was like, nah, this can't. I was like, no, I'm still this. I know I'm not bugging because I know I'm still hearing the stuff. But then, long story short, come to realize there's technology where people can actually, send direct frequencies like into your head. It doesn't even necessarily have to go into your ear. All it just needs to stimulate, certain parts of your brain, or they can stimulate the cochlea of your ear, and whatchamacallit. But the other thing I wanted to say was, with all that being said, remote neural monitoring is a very, very real and highly invasive, extremely invasive method of, let's say, covert surveillance. When I tell you that what you see, what you hear, what you think, hell, probably down to what you feel, someone else can actually remotely, from a whole nother room, a whole nother building, wherever they are, they can actually experience what you're doing. They can actually experience what you're doing. They can see it in real time. All you gotta do is just do a search on remote neural monitoring. That's all you gotta do. Remote neural monitoring. And when I tell you that when all this gang stalking stuff started happening to me, of course I was scared at first because I was just like, you know, why do these people in the street know things that only people who know me should know? Because, you know, of course, when they're walking by, they'll be in a whole conversation and then they'll say something that just like it catches your attention, like, what the hell? You know, and then you're trying to tell yourself, maybe I'm bugging, but they do it so covertly and it's almost like so perfectly. I'm not even gonna get into the details about, you know, the differences and the subtleties and the aggressions of, you know, the gang stalking tactics, you know, or street theater, whatever. But yes, the optic nerve, or if you ever decide to do a search on optogenetics, I think it's optogenetics. If you do a search on it, you will find that not only are tech companies developing brain computer interface programs for games and stuff like that, but a lot of this stuff is used for surveillance. A lot of this stuff is used so that they can basically manipulate people. I mean, honestly, and then this is the thing. I probably said this in videos before. I'm just like, how could people be so cool with the idea of knowing someone is actually gaining access to their mind? Yes, they're transmitting their statements to you, using synthetic telepathy and whatnot. But are you even fully aware of what else they're capable of? Are you even fully aware of the fact that if you're someone who does stuff, let's just put it that way, if you're someone who does stuff, do you even realize that the person that you're supposedly communicating with this synthetic telepathy, they have everything that you have done saved on a server that you probably can't even access. They have everything that you've done saved on the server somewhere, just so that if push came to shove one day and they need to throw you under the bus, they have the video recording from your very own eyes of you doing what you were doing. If they ever wanted to extort you, they have that information stored to a server where they can basically use it against you. If you've ever stolen anything, killed anybody, if you ever, if whatever you have done, because trust me, you can't really tell when they're actually using this technology on you unless you're actually just as still as possible and maybe you don't have a lot of background noise going on, because the only way you'll really truly hear them is when you hear the tones. It's like a pitched tone, it's sometimes you might hear a very high one in one ear and then it might be a low one in the other ear, something like that. They call it heterodyny. But yeah, I just don't understand, cause they're all like through the V2K and people in the street, they all like, oh, you a snitch, you a snitch, and I'm just like, dude, if anything, I'm trying to save your ass. I'm trying to save your ass, because nobody should ever be able to have this much access to a person's mind. Not one single soul on this planet should ever be able to have this much access to a person's mind. And then on top of that, not just have access to it, but they can actually upload the content of your mind to the internet and then share it with people. And then not just share it, they can actually take it and edit it whatever way they want to edit it to make you look even worse than what you actually have done. Now, like I said, I've never done anything intentionally to anybody. I'm still not doing nothing intentionally to hurt anybody. And they're all looking at me like I'm trying to basically destroy the livelihood of so many people. But like I said, when I went to the hospital first time and I was like, look, I don't know what's happening. I don't know who y'all are. All I want is for all this to just go away. I won't say nothing. I don't, I ain't no snitch. I won't do anything, whatever. I said, all y'all gotta do is just leave me alone. That's it. Did they do that? No. What they decided to do was say, well, since you went to the hospital, you talked about your experiences in the hospital, you are now a snitch, so you might as well become a police officer. So, they did everything they could, from, making it seem like my phone probably had like a police signal or something on it. They did everything from basically what else they did? They basically what was the other thing they did? They took my FM AM radio, a regular ass FM AM radio, and no matter what station I would tune to, they would push a radio signal into whatever station I tuned to make it sound like I was listening to a police, like listening to it. It was so weird because I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember it was like November, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. I don't even feel like walking to the closest train station. I wanted to just walk. So I'm listening to the radio, and then I'm hearing code 74, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, let me change the station. So I changed the station. The next thing you know, it's back again. And then I hear them on the V2K to myself, see, we told you he a police officer. And I'm like, yo, they are trying to set me up something terrible. And I'm just thinking to myself, yo, they are going so hard trying to see if they can make this image of me, will destroy my original image and then create a new image of me being a cop. And then they're like, oh, your whole family watching, your whole family think you a snitch. Everybody in Brooklyn think you a snitch. Everybody think you a snitch. And I'm just like, yo, I don't think none of them people that you telling know what it feels like to have your body radiated every single day. To have your testicles feel like someone attached some electrical clamps to them and just basically electrocuting them every single day. I don't think people know what it feels like to have this magnetic pulling force or like a magnetic pressure at the top of your dome, which is basically, it's, what they do is they connect to your pineal gland. Can't fully explain it, but I could send you, I'm pretty sure I could send you a link to let you know just how they do it. Or at least it'll give you bits and pieces to show you how they do it or what scientists are doing without telling the full, story about how they do it. But I kid you not. So, and then I'm just thinking to myself, like, so they going so hard to try to destroy me when I don't do nothing to nobody. And that's when I think to myself, I'm like, God, keep feeding me. That's what I say to myself every day. Lord, keep feeding me. Keep feeding me. Because no matter what, and they always love to say, he confident. And I'm just like, it's not about being confident. It's just knowing that I'm doing what's right, though. Like, this isn't like normal street shit where, like, you seen somebody do some shit, so you just gonna turn the other way and you ain't gonna say nothing. No, this ain't no normal street shit. This is like this is gonna be sad for me to say this. This is like if you was walking down the street and then somebody took some eggs and they threw it at you from a roof and then they ducked and hide, and you looking around like, who the fuck threw that? And you mad as hell and you trying to find who the hell did it, but you can't find who the hell did it, but you just mad that it's happening to you. This is that situation. This is not even snitching. And then they're like, he's not moving properly. When I moved out here, it was like fall going into winter. Ain't nobody was outside. Everybody was like, coming and going, coming and going. It wasn't like I could just like basically start up a conversation with whoever, whenever, whatever. Because then even when the summertime came around, shit, we was dealing with COVID then, so it wasn't like I was trying to get to know a bunch of people either. So you telling me, through all this time, I moved out here in September of 2019. So you telling me of all this time I'm being persecuted because, for one, I was quarantined, and two, I didn't get to know, I wasn't pushing myself to get to know everybody out here. Three, I'm being persecuted for what? Smoking? Like what? A cigarette? What? Cannabis? I mean, that everybody does that. And I'm being what? Persecuted because I had a housewarming party, or at least I tried to have one back in March of 2020, and I mean, it didn't get that loud, but it wasn't that late either though. Even if it did get loud, it wasn't that late. So now I'm just to myself like, yo, they doing everything to try to destroy me. Like everything they can do to destroy me. And still, I have yet to do anything to them. And they're like, oh, you wasn't supposed to say nothing. You wasn't supposed to say nothing. I'm like, Negro, you're not supposed to be jumping in people's heads without their permission. You're not supposed to be transmitting signals into people's heads without their permission and then just assume that people are just going to be okay with it. And that's the whole part that I hate the most is like, I don't want to really get into that, but I'm just saying, like, I really hate when I hear stuff like how, certain neighborhoods get taken advantage of because, they have a code or there's I don't know. It's kind of, people want to act like they're not afraid of stuff, but I mean, there's fears. There's fears. And I'm just thinking to myself, so New York City is like a smoldering pot of electromagnetic fields. And I believe in contrails. I don't know about everybody else. I do believe in contrails. So, I mean, if I've heard of EMF broadcasting or virtual reality, whatever. I've heard of it. I just never really seen it myself. Like, I seen YouTube videos where people like edit their pictures and they're like, yeah, you can see the letters there and there's a face right there on my forehead. I don't know, like, I still haven't seen it myself, but I'm trying a little bit, try to see if I can find something on me, because I do remember at one point back in like November or December where my perps or handlers, whatever, they were using like something that felt like a laser, almost like an infrared laser, and it felt like they were like basically tracing something or burning something all around, like, the back of my scalp and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to get all that off my chest because they trying harder. they're sending a lot more frequency pulses or energy pulses to my heart, like they're trying to induce a heart attack. So, um, and then they're like, oh, he's talking about people. First of all, anybody who actually knows me, no, I don't just sit around just talking about people. I don't just talk about people because, oh, maybe, like I'm not one of those people that just sit around talking about people just to talk bad about people. That's a waste of energy, actually. If somebody's doing something weird, I'll be like, yo, that's some weird ass shit. You just sitting there and you notice something weird, or if you walking with bags of groceries in your hand and there's like a whole barbecue on the sidewalk and you trying to get by and you're just thinking like, damn, I gotta walk in the street instead of, like I can't even like get through this crowd. And you mention something like that, they're like, oh, he's talking about people. And I'm like, that's how you know when people just be looking for confrontation, when people just be looking to create something out of nothing. But I don't know. This is the world we live in. I just thank God that He still continues to sustain me every day. I lay my head, I slept, I awake, for the Lord sustains me. And I get it. The street's gonna be mad at me. But like I said, I never wanted to know anything about this technology. I never wanted to know about no secret society. I never wanted to be a part of none of this. All I was doing was just living in my apartment, watching movies, quarantining, minding my business. I wasn't taking pictures of people. I wasn't, supervising nobody. This is all the stuff that they're slandering me with. They're saying I was taking pictures of people, supervising people, like I was like just some snitch that just moved into the neighborhood. Like, cause that's the whole thing I don't get. It's like, how all of a sudden, out of the 32 years I lived in New York City, I moved to a different borough, and all of a sudden my whole personality just changes. I just don't get it. I don't get it. So I don't know. If you know me and you watching these or you watching the broadcast, damn, that's fucked up that you flipped on me like that. I mean, it really is. It's fucked up that you flipped on me. And the fact that you don't even actually believe my story. That's really fucked up, because you know I don't actually do nothing to nobody. So you would think that I'm just doing this just to be spiteful. Why would I do this? Why would I do this if I didn't think that, like, if I could actually defend myself in this situation, then I would. I wouldn't be making videos and stuff like that. I wouldn't be saying nothing. If I could defend myself, then I wouldn't be saying nothing. But because I can't defend myself, and the person that's doing all these things to me is hiding, the only thing I can do is talk about what I'm experiencing. It's not even like I said, I don't know nobody's names. I don't even know what they look like. I just recognize their voice when I hear them. Let me walk down the street and I hear their voice, and I can't say it's a rap, because then that'll make me look suspect. If I just like walk up on somebody, then yeah, of course, then I would look like the crazy person, because that's their agenda. Their whole agenda when it comes to gang stalking is to either, one, get you committed to like a psych ward or something. Two, get you locked up, for either, you reacting to something, or basically, or they create some type of fake crime against you. And I've seen some stories, fake DNA. They took a cigarette butt that you probably smoked from, and then put places at the scene of a crime or something like that. I done seen and read about so much weird stuff. And then three, you end up dying somehow, whether it's by suicide that you actually committed, or they somehow kill you using these weapons, and then they make it seem like COVID did it, or they try to make it seem like it was a natural death. But anyway, yeah, I need to start making these videos shorter because this, yeah. Anyway, I just gotta keep doing this because I can't let them just destroy my character, and then when something does happen to me, I was never defending myself. This is how I'm defending myself. This is how I'm defending myself. So, to all you other targeted individuals or empowered individuals, I suggest you get comfortable with documenting, the things that are happening to you, even if it's through video, audio, whatever you gotta do. Just make sure you're documenting it, because trust and believe, these people are connected. They will try to find ways to get you committed or locked up. If they don't kill you, they're gonna try to find some way to put you away. So you gotta make sure you find some ways to document everything that happens to you. That way, it's not just completely their word against yours, And it also helps that if you can find other, TIs that lives near you or something like that, that'll help too. Like me, I'm so happy that I found, several, probably dozens that live in the New York, New Jersey area, whether upstate, Long Island, 5 boroughs, Jersey, Connecticut, I done found quite a few. So I'm just glad that, I'm glad I'm not alone, period, because I also found some that live in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, parts of like the Middle East, South America. And then, these men, women, and children, and then, oh my goodness, the conference calls that I be on sometimes, and hearing what these some of them are single mothers, and they are targeted, and then they'll tell stories about how their children are being harassed. Children as young as like 4, 3, toddlers. And I'm just like, so everyone that's doing this gang stalking stuff, they're cool with harassing children. And then I hear some of the most sick stories, because you can stimulate sexual activities in the brain, using this technology. So imagine when you hear a mother tell a story about how her toddler daughter, was explaining how something felt funny, but it felt kind of good happening to her in her body. But it felt scary because no one was around. Imagine that. So I'm just thinking to myself, and look, I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it. That's how I know the Lord is with me the whole entire time I'm making this video. I can't understand the lengths that people will go through just so that they can live a better life. I really can't understand. That's why sometimes I think to myself, well, if my mother wasn't still in New York City, I would have never left North Carolina. I would have went somewhere more rural than that and lived off a farm. And I'm just like, and I can't with this. I can't, I've never been a snitch before. Still never went to no cops. Well, for one, I already know that would be pointless anyway, because it's already bad enough I went to the hospital and they made me seem like I was crazy. But, if I went to the cops, they probably would have just tried to lock me up anyway. So, And then it would have been even worse, because then if I would have went to the cops and then I came out the station, then now it really looks like I'm a snitch. So, but yeah, I'm just telling my experience, and hopefully my experience will encourage other targeted individuals to talk about their experiences. Maybe it might even get the ones who are trying to hide it from their family and friends because they don't want people to think I'm crazy. Maybe it'll draw them out. I'm not hiding my face. I'm not hiding my voice. I'm not doing none of that. God said, if you have faith in me, you'll be bold in everything that you do. God said, if you fear me and you walk in the steps that I ask of you, you would not fear anything of this world, and you should not ever worry about death, because no man or woman knows when their time, place, or how they will die is going to come. So this is me just basically putting myself out there. And I mean, whatever happens, happens. At the end of the day, I know I'm doing what's right, because if the gang stalkers don't even fully understand the capabilities of this technology, then they'll find out the hard way when, let's say, best case scenario, these handlers actually get caught and their server gets taken and then broken down, and then next thing you know, that here come these letters get sent out to all these different people to let them know, look, you were just a part of a very major crime, and your whole life was just basically found out on this server. We're just letting you know. And I kid you not, because stuff like that is already happening. What was this? Was it Sweden? No, it wasn't Sweden. It was some European country. Some hackers had got arrested for doing something similar. They were more ransomware stuff, but some European country. I forgot the name of the country, but yeah, it was like 6 hackers. Or better yet, they described them as like a cyber crime organization. But yeah, let me get off this. This is already long enough, 42 minutes. Yeah, so remember everybody, one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Remember, if you ever need a little bit more encouragement, I honestly suggest listening to these 5 chapters of the Bible. I'm not really religious, don't get me wrong. I'm not religious. I mean, I don't even really consider myself a Christian. Jesus said, don't follow me, follow my Father. So I don't even really consider myself a Christian, but I do believe in his practice of peace and love, and obeying God's commandments. I do believe in that. So these 5 chapters, Psalm 23, Psalm 31 and 37, and Psalm 94, and then Proverbs 1. There's a bunch more, because all this gang stuff and stuff it's all in the Bible. I kid you not, all of this stuff is in the Bible. Nothing new under this sun. Nothing that happens under this sun is new. It's just a repeat of something that already happened in the past. It's just a different generation with a new with a new type of appearance or exterior or whatever. It's all the same stuff. Everything that they're doing with this technology, the Egyptians probably tried to do it. I mean, the last few people that tried to do it were the Nazis. You see what happened to them. They went underground, right? They either got killed off or they went underground. Then, of course, the U.S. got their, the U.S. government got their issues with, doing experiments on citizens, but we ain't gonna get into that. I'm just focusing on talking about my experiences. I'm not naming nobody. I'm just talking about my experiences. All right. Yeah, so everybody take care, and remember, don't be afraid to research things that you aren't necessarily sure is real, but Trust and believe. If you want some help with this, just comment below and I will send you the things that I have, and they're not just from some blog or some just somebody made this website. No, I'm talking about official scientific study websites and colleges and universities and institutes and stuff like that. I'm not. If I do this, I'm gonna do it right. All right. So, peace.